Hi there, welcome. So arguably one of the most powerful and most desired forms of currency out there is the idea of social or interpersonal value. The way I like to think of this is if you break down the concept into 4 different aspects, which is to be respected, to be appreciated, to be liked, and to be loved. Respect is about what you do, what you stand for, so ultimately your values. To be appreciated means that you provide value to one or more people, and that value can come in many different forms, including aesthetics and beauty, or commercially. Typically, to be liked by someone means that that person either has felt or feels good when they're in your company. And finally, we have love, which is the most desirable, but it has to be earned and takes the longest amount of time to earn for most people, except for the few who you have unconditional love towards. So in this video, we're going to be looking at how you can boost these individual and collective aspects in order to be able to increase your overall social value and your overall social desirability. Before I get into the list, I think there's a very fundamental concept that many people today seem to have forgotten, and that is, out of these aspects, none of them can be demanded, they have to be earned. Ultimately, social value only really works when it's organic, so in the case of these 4 aspects, some have to be earned, whereas others have to be grown or developed. I should point out that there is a difference between these social merits and basic human rights. In the case of basic human rights, these things should be expected, whereas in the case of people's opinion of you, this isn't something that can be demanded, it has to be earned naturally over time. The other thing to point out is that your life will be dramatically more fulfilling if you have a healthy dose and a healthy balance of all 4 of these aspects. Some people think that all that someone needs in their life is love, whereas other people are adamant about earning and demanding respect. But the truth is, one without the other tends to leave something missing in relationships and friendships. The same is true when it comes to being appreciated or being liked, because when you have all 4 of these aspects, it creates and paints a complete picture, and that allows you to get the most out of your social friendships, relationships, and overall social dynamics. So now we're going to move on to 8 core ideas where each one has the ability to boost one or more of these social aspects. So in effect, by working on these 8 ideas, it should have the long-term result of making you become more likable. So number 1 is to be a good listener. It can be very tempting that when you're trying to come across as an overall decent and worthy person, that you need to somehow share this with other people and sell yourself in some kind of way. But the truth is, being a good listener is an extremely desirable and beneficial skill to have. Now, it might seem strange that I'm referring to listening as some kind of skill, but the reality is, people open up to you more and connect with you more when you're able to listen to what they truly have to say, rather than being more concerned about what you have to say to them. To paraphrase a particular line that I've come across, you have 1 mouth and 2 ears, so use them in that ratio. The next one is to have or develop a good sense of humor. The power of laughter and comedy can't be underrated because it brings people together, it lowers boundaries, and it reduces tension. Obviously, humor comes in many different forms, including wit, sarcasm, dark humor, and slapstick. Humor overall is naturally very subjective, but what it really comes down to is being able to look at all the seriousness in the world and view it through a light-hearted lens. At every moment, there are millions of things vying for your attention and demanding that you take them seriously, but if you're able to just smile and laugh, it makes life overall far more fun and enjoyable. The next one is to be authentic. It might seem that people will like you more if you like what they like, or if you conform to the popular opinion. But once again, the truth is very different. Conforming in the short term might earn you some initial social status points, but in the long term, people will respect you a lot more if you stick with your principles and your values. You only have to look at the most distinguished and desirable people in society, and you'll see that part of the reason that these people are so successful and admired is because they're doing what most people aren't doing. Authenticity not only helps with you gaining other people's respect, but it also increases the chances of you being successful in whatever you decide to pursue. In my last video, I covered the topic how to get good at anything, so if you're interested, feel free to check that one out. The next one is to be honest. It might seem that authenticity and honesty are very similar things, but the way I like to look at it is that authenticity is bringing the truth closer to you, whereas honesty is bringing you closer to the truth. They're both extremely valuable and they both achieve different types of things. Once again, being honest earns you a lot of respect, but it also makes people like you more, love you more, and admire you more. Just for clarification, when I use the term honesty, I'm not just referring to telling the truth or not telling lies, but also in terms of living up to honest values and your overall behavior as well. The next one is acts of service. People might respect you for being selfish and successful, but generally speaking, they won't admire you, like you, or love you if you have these particular qualities. Instead, doing things for others generally makes people warm towards you, but at the same time, it also makes you feel better as well. Whether it's serving the community, being a good citizen, or just doing things for people who you care about, all of these things will bring overall social value. The next one might seem counterintuitive at first, but actually it's one of the most important ones, and that is to take care of yourself, both in terms of your physical health and your overall mental well-being. The thing is, by taking care of yourself, you're letting other people know that you're of value because you respect yourself. To paraphrase another powerful line, people will only value you as high as you value yourself. So learning and finding reasons to take care of yourself and treat yourself properly will in turn signal to others that you're worth taking care of, but at the same time, it will make you feel better because of the positive momentum that comes from self-care. The other thing about this one is it tends to be one of those things that underpins lots of other areas of your life, because if you're able to take care of yourself, it increases your health, and therefore it increases your energy and motivation and happiness in order to be able to achieve and succeed and feel better overall. I have this theory where I think in many ways compassion is some kind of luxury, because if you don't have the basic needs taken care of, then you won't have the excess energy in order to be able to do things for others. It's like that airplane analogy where you're typically advised to take care of your own oxygen mask first in the case of an emergency before trying to attend to anyone else's needs. The next one is to be polite. Politeness can go a long way, and this can be both in terms of social conventions but also in terms of social manners. There's a reason why many of these social conventions exist, because it's a way of communicating to others that you're on the same page and that you're treating other people with respect. This could be anything from shaking someone's hand when you first meet them, all the way to saying thank you for someone's generosity. And the final one is hard work and achievements. Having status goes a long way, but people will respect you so much more when they know that you are the architect of your own positive destiny. Hard work is also very good for your own self-esteem, because if you've worked hard and earned some kind of achievement, it increases the positive momentum because you know that you did that despite the fact that other people might have had it easier. Hard work is very much desired in the business world, but it's also very underrated when it comes to your own personal life, particularly when it comes to relationships. At some point, it's inevitable that you will come across some kind of difficulty or challenge in your relationships, but if you know and your partner knows that you have the hard work and determination to try and overcome it, then this will definitely increase your chances of things working out. Even more than this though, coming through hard times together often strengthens the relationship rather than weakens it. This is because both of you have a stack of proof or evidence that you have the ability and capacity to come through difficult challenges and the willingness to do so. So if you look at this list, you'll probably find that some of these things come very natural to you, whereas others are a little bit more challenging. For example, people pleasers find politeness, acts of service, and listening far more instinctive, whereas more assertive and dominant people tend to find authenticity, honesty, and achievements more natural. So the main takeaway here is not to try and work on these things for the sake of it, but actually to see the big picture and the benefits that come to you personally and to others by being more socially valuable. So I have made videos on various different topics related to this video, so feel free to check them out or subscribe if you're interested. Let me know if you have any thoughts or comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.